CalBuddy makes over 50k per month. It's a deceptively complex app. You point your camera at the plate of food, and the trained AI instantly recognizes the ingredients. It estimates the portion size and shows the calories and the macros in under a second. Now, to build something like this in the old days, you would need hundreds of thousands of data points and a lot of knowledge in machine learning. But what if I told you that I managed to clone this exact app in under 30 minutes, all without writing a single line of code and without even owning a Mac? Let me just show you how. Now, before we get into it, I want you to know that building a real native iPhone app is not easy. A proper iOS app like CalBuddy needs real-time food image recognition, calorie and macro breakdown, a daily streak system, a clean onboarding, a premium native feel, and a lot more. And building all of that yourself would normally take months of learning Swift and Xcode. But I have a simple step-by-step plan that makes the process of building such complex apps extremely simple. So by the end of this video, you will learn exactly how to clone a viral app like CalBuddy and install it on your phone, all in under 30 minutes. But I don't want you to learn only how to clone this one single app. I want you to leave this video having mastered the art of building iOS apps using AI. This way you can also launch an original viral app of your own. And the most important thing to build a successful mobile app is making sure that it is $1 million app idea. Because we're not just building apps for fun, we're building apps to make a lot of money from them. To make sure our idea has the potential to go viral, it has to follow these 3 requirements. 1, it must solve a common and emotional problem. 2, its core value can be explained in 3 words or less. 3, it should be naturally shareable. And one of the best ways to find such a viral app idea is through the website called trustmrr.com. This is where I originally found CalBuddy too, because it's a directory that shows behind the scenes of startups that are going viral right now, including their actual monthly revenue, so you're 100% certain that the market has demand. And the best part is that these apps are usually built by only 1 or 2 people. So all you have to do to beat them is just to make a slightly better app, which you'll easily be able to do by the end of this video. And the reason I went with CalBuddy is because it ticks all of the 3 viral requirements perfectly. People want to lose weight, that's the emotional problem. The value is literally photo equals calories, that's 3 words. And it's the kind of thing people screenshot and share with friends who are also trying to eat better. That same formula works across pretty much every viral consumer app of the last few years. So this is exactly the kind of app that we want to clone. Step 2, the spec. But before we even open an app builder, we have to do one important thing first. The biggest mistake beginners make is opening an AI app builder, typing build me a calorie app, and getting back a generic half-broken layout with no real logic anywhere. That's not the best way to do it. So the most important thing before generating a single screen is having a proper spec. So instead of jumping into a builder, I'm going to open Claude in my browser first. And here's the prompt I'm going to paste into Claude so I can get back a proper spec. And now it's done, and look at what Claude gives back. It's a full blueprint, and actually looks way better than what most startups have. So this structuring detail matters a lot, because if you skip it and dump everything into one random prompt, your app will break and it will be very hard to fix it later. For now, we haven't built anything yet, but we already have a more solid app structure than 90% of solo builders out there. And we save this whole thing into a spec.md file. Step 3, build with Rork Max. So now it's time to hand it over to Rork to build the first draft of our iOS app. And usually making a native iOS app would take 10 times more time than a web app, because it's one of the hardest types of coding out there. But Rork, especially the Rork Max model, changes that. Because Rork Max writes real native Swift UI, it compiles it with Xcode on actual Macs running in their cloud, and streams a live iOS simulator straight in your browser. So the preview that you see in your browser isn't a fake mockup, it's a real iOS app using the same technology every app in the App Store uses. And the process is dead simple. Just go to Rork.com, link is in the description, and to use Rork Max specifically, you'll need either a paid plan or the free Max users that come with the Pro plan. And it might seem costly, but I 100% recommend it, because this is genuinely the best mobile app builder out there. Nothing else even comes close. So now I'll just paste in that spec file and prompt Rork this. And once you've added everything, just send it. So now we just wait and watch Rork do its magic. And just look at the panel. The agent is moving way faster than humanly possible. So this setup takes 5 minutes at most. So I'm just going to wait for it and meet you once it's done. Okay, Rork is done and the live simulator is here in my browser. I can click on the get started button here and it will lead me to the onboarding process. Okay, now I have to input my fitness metrics, so let me do that real quick. And we're done, and wow. It immediately gave me a daily calorie target based on the goal that I inputted earlier, and it even gave me specific macros like how much protein I should be taking in daily. This is already some insane stuff. And as I'm scrolling through the rest of the app, all of it looks amazing too. We have a very good first draft here. Oh, by the way, I also noticed the UI UI is all liquid glass too, just like the new iOS softwares. See, so now we have a functioning iOS app within a few minutes. And we didn't even write a single line of code, Rork did it all for us. But let me be honest with you, the first version is functional, but it's not stunning yet. The layout is there, the navigation works, the camera flow is wired up, but the design is a bit generic. So we are not done and we can't stop here. We need to make this look incredible. Step 5, design references with Mobbin. Okay, so to improve this app, I'm going to be focusing on making a stunning UI. A lot of developers underestimate the importance of a really clean UI, and it's actually very important because it sets the tone and the expectation for users when they first install your app. And this is especially true for a health app, because if a calorie tracker app looks cheap, nobody's going to trust it with their body, and nobody's going to keep it on their home screen past day 2. So we need this thing to feel premium, calm, and confident from the very first launch. And the easiest way to do that is just through Mobbin. If you don't know what Mobbin is, it's a massive curated library of the world's best interfaces straight from all of the real successful apps. Every single UI that you have ever admired is there to take inspiration from. It's what every developer uses now to reference modern UI. So now here's the important part of the workflow. Mobbin runs as a connector inside Claude, not inside Rork. So the way we do this is Claude does the design research with Mobbin and writes us a clean design system, and then we hand that design system to Rork to apply. So it's just two tools, each doing what it's best at. Okay, so first I'm going to launch Claude Code to connect Mobbin as a connector and authorize it in the browser. I use terminal Claude Code instead of the browser version because Claude Code has access to my entire PC, so it's just able to integrate MCPs more easily and also create files on my PC without it being much of a hassle. So just open up a terminal and type in Claude MCP add Mobbin -scope user -transport https://api.mobbin.com/mcp, and it will immediately add the Mobbin MCP server as you can see here. And then we just need to type in Claude to open Claude Code in the terminal, and then if you type /mcp and select Mobbin, we will now connect it. So now it will give you some steps to authorize your Mobbin account to Claude Code. So just follow the steps it tells you, like I am doing right here. And once it's done, we can test out the connection. I'll just ask in the chat, what Mobbin tools do you have access to? And there it is. Claude Code confirms that it has access to the Mobbin's MCP. So when you see this message, it means that the connection between Claude Code and Mobbin is live. Now I'll prompt Claude Code to look up the design references from Mobbin and convert it into a file. So this is the final prompt. And now behind the scenes, Claude is searching through Mobbin, pulling reference screens, and then writing the design language out. And now that it's ended, you can see that we were given a file called designsystem.md. This should include everything Rork needs to make a super clean and effective UI. Now we jump back into Rork and hand it the design system file, and then I'll write in this prompt right here, and then it rebuilds the UI. Okay, so now that it's done, the simulator preview refreshes on its own. And the difference is night and day, literally. The whole app is now in a calm, premium dark theme with a warm terracotta accent. The home screen has a beautiful circular progress ring showing today's calories, already filled in from our seed data. The macro breakdown isn't 3 plain text lines anymore. It's clean visual indicators with subtle color coding. The meal cards show the photo, the meal name, and the calorie count laid out properly, and that camera button now floats cleanly in the center of the tab bar. Here's the before and after, the original generic light build next to the dark and more polished version. Now it looks like a real app, all thanks to Mobbin for the UI inspiration and Rork for the build. Okay, so now we have a real native iOS app that looks and feels like a venture-backed product, and we built it as a solo developer without writing a single line of code. But the photo button is still looking weird. Now it's time to work on the main feature, the actual photo to calorie AI. This is the feature that completes the whole app. So to do this, we need to replace this button with a real visual feature that recognizes food from a photo and returns calories and macros. But do you know how hard image recognition pipelines normally are? You'd be wrestling with image upload, model selection, response parsing, error handling. It's just a nightmare. So instead, I'll just prompt Rork to wire it up. And it's done. But we won't test it in the simulator though. The simulator has no camera, and we want to save our first real recognition for the moment that actually matters. Pointing a real iPhone at real food. I will test that on an iPhone towards the end of the video, so stay tuned. Step 10. Get it on your iPhone with test flight. The app looks great, it works in the simulator, the AI feature is wired up to our own key, and the streak is ticking. Now we need to get it onto an actual iPhone, so we can use it like a real app. And this is the part that historically required a Mac, Xcode, code signing, provisioning profiles, a whole nightmare of configuration. But Rork Max has compressed that entire process into a cloud build. You only need one thing for this, an Apple developer account. Head over to developer.apple.com apple.com/account and make one. Apple charges $99 a year for the developer program, and once you're in, you will need to accept the latest developer agreements so the dashboard unlocks. Now inside Rork, you will see the publish to App Store/test flight option. Click it, then click on new submission. In here, we can also modify all of the details of our app, so make sure you package it professionally to get a lot of people to use your app. Next, it will ask you to sign into your Apple ID, so enter your email, your password, and if you have 2FA turned on, which you should, enter the 6-digit code. Since I'm already logged in, I will just ask it to start submission. So now Rork uploads the build, signs it, and pushes it through App Store Connect to test flight. You'll see the build status progressing, and this part takes a bit, so it's good to watch it move through each step so you know it's publishing properly. Now it's finally ready, and Rork handed me a test flight link. Here, all you have to do is copy the beta invite link, open it in another tab, and follow all the steps to get it working on your phone. Then it will ask you to confirm your Apple ID and a few other connections. And once that's done, you will be given a code to input into test flight to start using the app on your iPhone. And now again on your phone, input the code through the test flight app, and it will download the app. Step 11. Test on iPhone with real food. Once it's done, the app will show an icon as if you have installed an app directly from the App Store. So now just tap the icon, and there it is, our CalBuddy clone running on a real iPhone, the icon, the launch screen, the home screen with the progress ring, all of it on a real device in your hand. And I want you to sit with this for a second. We started this video with nothing, just an idea. We didn't write a single line of code, and we didn't even open Xcode. And now there's a custom designed native iOS app running on an iPhone with the icon we want and the screens we built. All thanks to Rork. Okay, now let me test the app once again. I'll go through the onboarding process and put in my stats. And here we go, we're in the app, and now we can see the dashboard working just fine. It's saying that we have no meals logged today. So let me now log in real food and test the camera to calorie feature to make sure it's working fine. I'll tap the big add meal button and it opens the camera. I will just use an apple here for a simple test. Okay, so once it's done, the AI in our app starts analyzing the photo and calculates the macros. And a few seconds later, the AI returns its data on the plate. The food is recognized with calories, protein, carbs, and fat breakdown for each. And as you can see, it perfectly recognized the red apple. And these numbers are live straight from the model on the real food. So now I'll tap to save to logs, and there we go. The home screen updates immediately. The progress rings fills up, and it shows exactly how many macros we have consumed. And from here, the way you improve a real app is simple. Use it, notice what feels off, then go back to Rork, describe it in plain language, and republish. Each test only takes a few minutes with Rork, and that loop is what makes solo app development actually viable in 2026. Look, everything up to this point has been the easy part. I know that sounds strange to say after wiring up live AI vision recognition and shipping to a real iPhone, but it's true. Building an app is the part AI has made almost trivial. But getting strangers to download it, log their first meal, and keep coming back every single day, that is the hard part that actually determines whether this becomes a real income source or just a cool test flight build that sits on your phone. I'm talking about marketing. So let's talk about how you can actually get this in front of people. And I want to take inspiration from what real calorie tracking apps have actually done to grow, not just a generic post on social media advice that applies to literally any app in any category. So the first thing to understand about this specific category is that calorie and food tracking apps have one of the most powerful built-in distribution mechanics of any consumer app, but it's where most developers completely fail to take advantage of. The mechanic is transformation content. Weight loss and body composition change is inherently visual, emotional, and shareable. People who lose 20 pounds want to tell that story, and the app that helped them track the process becomes part of that story automatically. Just look at Claude AI, one of the most successful apps in this exact category. They grew almost entirely through TikTok creator partnerships built around this exact mechanic. They didn't run traditional ads explaining the feature set. They got creators to film themselves using the app daily, pointing the camera at a plate of food, watching the calorie breakdown appear instantly, and it was packaged as a part of a broader "What I Eat in a Day" or "How I Lost X Pounds" content arc that creators were already making. The app was just a tool inside content that people were already motivated to make and already had an audience hungry to watch. So when the videos does well because of its authenticity, the app will also get more users by extension. And that's the model to copy here. And it's far more specific than just find fitness influencers. So you want to find micro creators in the 5,000 to 50,000 follower range who are already documenting their own weight loss or body recomposition journey because their audience trusts them. Reach out and offer them free lifetime premium access in exchange for naturally featuring the camera to calorie moment in one of their existing content formats. So you're not asking them to make an ad, you're asking them to just use a tool that makes their existing content better. Because watching someone snap a photo and instantly get accurate macros is genuinely satisfying to watch. It has the same dopamine hit as any good before and after reveal. The The second method, and one that's almost criminally underused in this category, is App Store optimization around very specific high-intent search terms. People searching the App Store for calorie tracker are comparing dozens of apps, and the competition is brutal. But people searching for AI food scanner, photo calorie counter, or scan food calories are still searching for the exact mechanic you just built, and the competition on those specific terms is very small. Your app's name, subtitle, and first screenshot should lead with the camera to calories feature, because that's the differentiator that separates you from the 1,000 traditional manual entry calorie apps already saturating the store. Your screenshots should not show the settings screen or the onboarding screens. They should show the exact sequence that we just built and tested on a real iPhone. Point camera at food, foods identified with confidence score, calories and macros appear. Now the third method is Reddit, and the specific communities matter a lot here. Subreddits like Lose It, CICO, intermittent fasting, and fitness are full of people actively struggling with the exact pain point that this app solves, which is the tedious act of manually logging every single ingredient of every single meal, which is the number one reason people abandon calorie tracking within the first 2 weeks. So search these communities for posts where people are venting about how exhausting manual logging is, or asking for app recommendations that make tracking less painful. Then you need to reply to these posts with genuine empathy for the struggle first. Then just mention that you built something specifically because manual food logging burned you out too, and that the photo-based approach removes almost all of the friction. Authenticity matters enormously here, because these communities have seen 100 thinly veiled app promotions and will download anything that smells like marketing. What works nowadays is sounding like a person who solved their own problem, not just a founder who's pitching a product. And now the fourth piece, and one of my favorites, is retention-driven referral mechanics. And this is where the streak feature that we already built out becomes a genuine growth lever. And you can expand the share feature by adding triggers at meaningful streak milestones, like at 7 days, 30 days, or 100 days. And so when someone shares this streak, it should generate a clean branded image showing the user's streak count and a glimpse of their progress, sized perfectly for an Instagram story. People who hit a 30-day streak on anything feel genuinely proud of that consistency, and they would want to share it. And every share is a free, high-trust promotion of your app to an audience that already knows and likes the person posting it, which converts at a rate no paid ad can match, because the endorsement is implicit rather than purchased. And now the fifth and final method of marketing this app is the pricing and conversion strategy, because none of the distribution above matters if the app doesn't convert visitors into paying users effectively. The model that's worked consistently well in this exact category is a generous initial free trial, something like 3 to 7 days of full access including unlimited photo scans, followed by a single clearly priced subscription rather than a confusing multi-tier structure. Calorie tracking is a habit-forming category, and the app that wins here understands that the first week is everything. If someone experiences the full magic of the camera to calories flow during the trial and builds even a few days of habit around it, the conversion to paid at the end of the trial becomes almost automatic, because then cancelling means going back to manual entry, and nobody wants that. Put those 5 pieces together: App Store optimization around the specific AI scanning mechanic, authentic Reddit presence in struggle-focused communities, streak-based social sharing, and a trial structure that builds real habit before asking for payment. And now you have a distribution system built specifically around what makes this category of app spread, not just a generic playbook borrowed from a different kind of product entirely. CalBuddy got to $50,000 a month with exactly this kind of focused, mechanic-specific growth strategy. There's no reason a faster, better-built clone with the same distribution discipline can't get there too. And that's it. In just a few minutes, we've gone from a simple idea to a high-quality native iOS app running on our iPhone, and we even built an industry-level distribution system. This app has the potential to make more than $50,000 per month, just like the real one. And if you need any help building your app, or if you want access to my fully built-out mobile and web boilerplate, my marketing engine, App Store and Play Store publishing guides, Claude Code setup and optimization tips, marketing engine codebase, and an SEO-optimized landing page template, and a private community of builders just like you, then you can go to BuildWithAI.io or go to the first link in the description to join. The only cost is $20 one time for lifetime access, and the crazy thing is that we pay you back the $20 after you have joined. So it's basically free to join. Me and my team would love to help you out and see you in there. So just go to the first link in the description and come join us. Thank you for watching, and as always, happy building.